Assalamu alaikum, my name is Vajiha and welcome to Learn English with Nasir.com. In today's lecture, we are going to learn about reflexive pronouns. So first we will discuss that what is a reflexive pronoun. Reflexive pronouns are pronouns that refer back to the subject of the sentence or clause. So if you look at this is the list of 8 reflexive pronouns. The first person singular is myself, the second person singular is yourself, the third person singular male himself, the third person singular female herself, then we have neuter itself, then we have plural, first person plural ourselves, second person plural yourselves, and then third person plural themselves. So if you look carefully at spelling, in singular they all end with the letter F, and in the plural they end with the letters VES. Okay? So we use reflexive pronoun when the subject and object are same person. A reflexive pronoun is an object that reflects back to a subject. So it is an object of a sentence and it reflects back to a subject. For instance, Sarah is preparing herself for the meeting. Here, Sarah is the subject of a sentence and Sarah is also the object of a sentence. We can use a reflexive pronoun as 3 different types of object. So, a reflexive pronoun can represent a direct object, an indirect object, or the object of preposition. As a direct object, we use a reflexive pronoun as a direct object to reflect back to a subject. For example, Ahmed is teaching himself to play the piano. Here the subject is Ahmed because Ahmed is teaching, and the object is also Ahmed because Ahmed is teaching Ahmed. Here the position of the reflexive pronoun is immediately after the verb. Here the verb is teaching and then we have a reflexive pronoun. So for instance, I am teaching myself to play the piano. Sarah is teaching herself to play the piano. So Sarah is female, so we use third person singular female reflexive pronoun herself. As an indirect object, we use a reflexive pronoun as an indirect object to reflect back to the subject. For example, Ali is making himself a sandwich. The subject is Ali because Ali is making the sandwich, and the indirect object is also Ali because the sandwich is for Ali. Sandwich is a direct object and himself is an indirect object, and this reflects back to Ali, the subject here again. As an object of preposition, we use a reflexive pronoun as an object of preposition to reflect back to the subject. For example, you often talk to yourself. Here the subject is you because it is you who is talking. The object is also you because you is talking to you. This time the position of the reflexive pronoun is immediately after the preposition. So talk has a preposition with it, talk to, because we talk to somebody. So this time reflexive pronouns comes after the preposition. For example, Alice is looking at herself in the mirror. Here the preposition is at and then we have a reflexive pronoun. So here are some common reflexive verbs. Transitive verbs. When appropriate, we can use reflexive pronouns as the object of these verbs. Amuse, blame, content, cut, drive, enjoy, help, hurt, introduce, kill, prepare, teach. There are many other verbs, but these are very common verbs where we use reflexive pronouns. For instance, I prepared this meal by myself. Sarah introduced herself to my parents. Then there are some verbs that are always reflexive, like busy oneself, pride oneself. While waiting for the train, I busied myself reading a book. Then there are some common mistakes. We don't use a reflexive pronoun after a preposition of place or with if it is obvious that the meaning is reflexive. Instead, we use a personal object pronoun. For instance, he took his umbrella with himself. He took his umbrella with him. So, the umbrella can only be with the subject of the sentence. The umbrella can only be with him. It cannot be with somebody else. So, we don't need to specify that it is reflexive because the context of the sentence tells us that it is reflexive. Okay? The another mistake is that we don't use a reflexive pronoun as a subject. So as we discussed earlier, the reflexive pronoun is an object of the sentence. So we must never use as a subject, we must use a personal subject pronoun. For example, Sana and myself went to London, which is incorrect. The correct one is Sana and I went to London. The another mistake is we don't use a reflexive pronoun for actions that people usually do for themselves. Like John shaves himself every morning. This is incorrect. The correct one is John shaves every morning. So that is the end of the lesson. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching and I will see you very soon. Allah Hafiz.